What if I told you that there are clear signs that something extraordinary is about to happen in your life? Have you ever felt that everything around you is changing without explanation? That certain doors have closed, and at the same time, a deep feeling inside you tells you that something greater is on the way? This is no coincidence. Nothing happens by chance. There is a purpose behind every trial, every detour, even unexpected twists and turns. But how do you know if you're being set up for something big? Today, I'm going to reveal 5 powerful signs that indicate a transformation is coming. If any of them happen to you, then you can be sure that something incredible is brewing. Stick with me to the end and find out what's really behind these signs. You may be closer to your blessing than you think. There are times when everything seems to fall apart. Plans that seemed certain fall apart before your eyes. What was once stable suddenly becomes uncertain. Have you ever experienced this? Have you ever felt that you are being tested, that life is throwing unexpected obstacles in your path? This may seem unfair, but I want you to see it differently. When a soul is being prepared for something greater, it goes through challenges that strengthen it. Just as fire refines gold, the difficulties you face today may be shaping you to receive something far greater than you can imagine. Remember, I know the pain of trial. I have walked among those who doubted me, been rejected by those who should have welcomed me, and faced moments of absolute loneliness. But each of these challenges has been part of a greater purpose. You are not being punished. You are being strengthened. Look at nature. A tree that grows in fertile soil without challenges may rise quickly, but its roots will be weak. When the storm comes, it falls. Now a tree that is facing strong winds has to deepen its roots to stand firm. And it is these roots that make it unshakable. So it is with you. When you're facing difficult days, ask yourself, what am I learning from this? What is this situation trying to teach me? Often, growth comes from what challenges us the most. And if you resist the process, you may be delaying something incredible that is already on its way. Think about the stories that inspire people the most. They all have something in common, a period of hardship before the big turning point. The moment of pain is never the end of the story, but the beginning of a new phase. The secret is in your response. When faced with a trial, you can give up, or you can see it as an opportunity for growth. What seemed like a burden can become the greatest blessing of your life. It all depends on how you handle the challenges. But more importantly, when you're being prepared for something greater, some doors often have to close. And that brings us to another sign that few can recognize the moment it happens. How many times have you wondered why certain opportunities disappeared right before your eyes? A job that seemed promising, a relationship that had everything going, say for it, a project that was about to come to fruition, but suddenly everything falls apart. Have you ever been there? It's natural to feel frustrated when something we want doesn't come true. The human mind tends to see only the loss, but there is something much bigger going on behind the scenes. When a door closes, it doesn't mean failure, it means redirection. Imagine someone who is about to board a ship, certain that this is the ideal path. But just before boarding, something happens and the journey is aborted. At first, there is disappointment. But days later, the person realizes that the ship never reached its destination. It's the same in your life. Sometimes a door that closes is actually protection from something that wasn't meant to be. Other times, it's an invitation to follow a much larger path that you can't yet see. As I walked among the people, I saw many clinging to plans that wouldn't take them where they really needed to be. I saw those who cried at the loss of something small, not realizing that something great was already being prepared. People fear change, but it is in change that growth is found. If something didn't happen the way you expected, trust it. There are forces that move the universe in a perfect way, even if it seems chaotic to human eyes. What you see as a loss may be the greatest release of your life. This doesn't mean that you should give up on your dreams, but rather that when a path closes, there is a reason for it. Look around you. See the signs. Often, a closed door is a nudge to see a new direction that you wouldn't have had the courage to take before. Think, aren't you holding on to something you should have left behind? Isn't there something much bigger waiting for you, but it can only be found by letting go of what no longer makes sense? And there's an even stronger sign that something big is coming. An inner feeling that you often can't explain but that insists on speaking to your heart. Have you ever felt a strong sense of foreboding, a quiet certainty inside you that something is about to happen? Perhaps it was a dream that seemed more real than the others, a feeling of inexplicable peace in the midst of chaos, or even an insistent thought that you should take a new path. This is not just a figment of your imagination. What many call intuition is actually a deep connection to something much greater. When something great is being prepared for you, this inner calling intensifies. You begin to notice small confirmations around you, words spoken by someone at just the right moment, coincidences that seem orchestrated, a clear direction even, when everything around you seems uncertain. In the past, those who were ready to receive something greater were always guided in this way. Some felt an irresistible urge to leave behind what was safe and embark on a new journey. Others had revelatory dreams or moments of profound clarity about what they needed to do. This call doesn't come with cries or obvious warnings. It manifests in silence as you learn to listen beyond the noise of the world. But to hear it requires trust. Many people ignore this inner voice because it often asks them to take a step into the unknown. Doubt can arise. What if I'm wrong? What if this is just a meaningless thought? But see, if this call is true, it persists. Even if you try to ignore it, it comes back. And the more you resist, the more signs appear to remind you that something is waiting for you. This is one of the clearest signs that a major shift is underway. For before anything changes on the outside, something must change within you. And that change begins when you realize that you are not alone, and that this intuition growing within you is the preparation for something much greater. But there is another sign that can be even more obvious. It's not happening within you, it's happening around you. People change, unexpected situations arise, and everything seems to take on a new rhythm, as if something is being reorganized before your eyes. Have you ever noticed how suddenly some people move away and others come into your life without you having planned it? Have you ever felt that places that used to make sense now seem strange, as if you no longer belong there? Changes like this don't happen by accident. When something big is in the making, your life begins to reorganize. There are relationships that grow distant, not because something has gone wrong, but because your growth requires a new circle. Some friendships, however important they may have been, are no longer with you. In the same way, new relationships emerge at the right time, bringing you lessons you can't even imagine. This can be uncomfortable. People resist change. They want to hold on to what is familiar, but understand that when something must go, holding on only brings suffering. There are times when separation is necessary so that you can move forward without carrying burdens that no longer belong in this phase of your life. Think of a fruit tree. When the season is right, the branches are pruned. It seems like an aggressive process, but without it, new fruit cannot be born. It's the same with you. Certain changes are necessary cuts so that something more abundant can flourish. Sometimes it is not just the people around you that change, but the circumstances themselves. An unexpected opportunity arises. A previously comfortable environment begins to seem too small for your dreams. These changes may bring uncertainty, but they are clear signs that something new is brewing. The key to getting through this time with serenity is trust. Even if you don't understand it now, look back and see how many times something that seemed like an end was actually a new beginning. The job that was lost made way for a better opportunity. The relationship that ended allowed for growth that wouldn't have happened otherwise. Pay attention to the signs around you. Nothing happens by accident. People come in and out of your life according to their purpose. When something ends, it means that a new cycle is ready to begin. And sometimes, that new cycle begins with a big twist. Something unexpected happens and everything changes in a way you could never have predicted. From one day to the next, everything can change. An unexpected piece of news, an opportunity that comes out of nowhere, an event that takes you off the path you thought you were on. At first, it can seem daunting. But what if this sudden change is actually the beginning of the biggest transformation of your life? Major turning points are almost always accompanied by uncertainty. The ground seems to disappear, and the future becomes a mystery. But it's in these moments that the impossible happens. What seemed like a problem can become a blessing in disguise. What seemed like a loss can be the key to something much greater. Look at how many stories begin with a moment of total uncertainty. Someone loses a job and in desperation discovers a talent that changes their life. A path is blocked and a new door opens, leading to a destination that would never have been found otherwise. Change isn't always easy. Sometimes it comes abruptly, without asking for permission. But believe me, nothing happens without a reason. When everything seems out of control, something invisible is being organized in your favor. You may not understand it now, but every detail is being put into place. Every piece of the puzzle is falling into place. And when the time is right, you will see that all the twists and turns, all the challenges, all the changes have been for a purpose, to prepare you to experience something far greater than you've ever imagined. Now take a deep breath. Look at your life with fresh eyes. Notice the signs around you. If you feel that you are being tested, if some doors have closed, if your intuition is speaking louder, if everything around you is changing and a major turning point has occurred, then have no doubt. Something extraordinary is being prepared for you. And when it happens, remember, it wasn't luck, it wasn't chance, it was preparation. You have been molded and guided and led to this moment. And now all you have to do is trust and take the next step. May your path be illuminated, and may you discover the peace that dwells within you. If you have come this far, it hasn't been by accident. Every word that has touched your heart is part of something much greater than you can imagine. Now you know that the challenges you face are not punishment, but preparation. The doors that close are not losses, but liberations. The intuition that insists within you is not an illusion, but a calling. The changes around you are not coincidence, but redirection. And the turn that came without warning is not the end, but the beginning of something extraordinary. Nothing is out of place, nothing is forgotten. Every detail of your life is being carefully guided to a purpose yet to be revealed. Trust. What is to come is greater than you can imagine. May your path be illuminated, your faith unwavering, and your soul find the peace that has always been within you. You are not alone, you never were, and now you are closer than ever to what has been prepared for you.